Hello, children. Hello. Here is this morning's story. Are you ready? Then we'll begin.
Hello, people. I am Subwolf20 with something... I'm not even sure what to really call this, but I do have a guest with me. I will let him introduce himself.
I am Red King 23, or Red Trickster 23, or a lot of other names, and I'm Silver's only fan.
That was the important one, Silver's only fan. 328 subscribers, and he's one of the only ones who actually says things.
Correct.
Why don't you explain what we're doing here?
What we are doing is going to be a commentary over the visual novel that came out earlier this year, Katawa Shoujo, or Disability Girls. It was a game that's been in making for about 5 years, and the original idea was made even before that. It was made by I guess you could call them ragtag team of amateur people who are from around the world who just decided one day, let's make this happen, and over 5 years developed this visual novel and had a bunch of people coming and going until it finally came out the 3rd of January 2012. The basics of the game is you play as Hisao Nakai, who who finds out that he has arrhythmia and is going to be sent to Yamako Academy, a school for the disabled. There he meets 5 girls, each of them with their own disabilities, and you go on a dating path with them where within them you kind of learn how to deal with your disability in different ways, and each of them has a different meaning to their story.
Well, I refuse to call this a Let's Play for the simple fact that I don't really consider this to be a game per se. It's like, this is kind of like a more advanced version of a dating sim you find on Newgrounds. So, and I also am not sure if I should call this part of the Storytime series, because this is a long-ass story, and the Storytime series is more meant for short stories and kind of like fan fiction type things. But I think I'm just gonna call this something different. Whatever people want to call it is what they'll call it. But a light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. The deciduous trees provide a beautiful green canopy, far out of sight of teachers and fellow students. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in this cold. I'm pretty sure that's not the only reason why he's rubbing his hands, but oh well.
Silver, do you think you could screen share on Skype so I can see what you're doing?
Problem with that would be it will lag like a bitch, but we'll try.
Okay.
Alright, we're attempting this with screen share so that he can see what's going on. Hopefully this doesn't become too laggy. If it does, I'll stop the screen share. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Ah, yes, the note. Slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking, because clearly I pay so much attention to my surroundings. As far as cliches go, I'm more a fan of the letter in the locker, but at least this way shows a bit of initiative. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens, and I can already see it's lagging. But at least there's no real animation yet, and just snowfall. The snowflakes silently falling from the white painted sky are the only sign of time passing in the stagnant world. Their slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood because I'm a pansy. Someone is approaching me from behind. Murder! 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 Hisayo, you came. Says my murderer. How does my murderer know my name?
By the way, this will be the only time that the character actually speaks.
I see. A hesitating, barely audible question, which shows either she is deathly afraid or just shy as hell.
By the way, if it hasn't come apparent, Silver hasn't played this game yet, and I have.
Pretty much. Pretty much indeed.
In fact, I can say that I've 100%ed it.
However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. I must be dying. It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never as more than an eavesdropper to a conversation. Our hero, everyone. A creep. I turn to face this voice, the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. Who is this voice that we are fawning over? What will happen when we finally see our murderer? All these answers and more on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z. Oh, we don't even see her face.
Oh yeah, you see the back of her face, but nothing else.
Kinda lame. Amanako. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering these names, and if you're Japanese, I forgive you. Or please forgive me. I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it, I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that was the result. Ha ha. Dun 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 dun. Wow. Pathetic. You got that right. What?
Nothing.
What were you gonna say?
I said yeah, but it was so quiet.
Yes, I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. I probably should have given it to you myself, but I'm too afraid. Because I'm a girl. And I'm pretty sure your sister can hear me. That hair better be yellow by this time next week. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. And our screen is becoming demonic. My heart is pounding now, as if it were trying to burst out from my chest and claim this girl for myself. A creeper and possessive. More still image without seeing the girl's face. So, here we are, out in the cold. I'm gonna come up with a voice for these people eventually, but not while my voice is still not 100%. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches. The cacophonous noise is music to my ears. Iwanako flinches ever so softly against the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself as if supported by some new confidence. I'm not even gonna comment. Her eyes lock with mine and she lazily twirls her long, dark hair around her finger. obviously trying to flirt, but with that animation to back it up, it's not exactly convincing.
By the way, there are 6 quote-unquote animations in this game. Basically, one for after the prologue, which you're in now, and then 5 for each of the characters that you can date.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to tell us? I will take that as a no. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out if I tried. Clearly, he's going through puberty. You see, more demonic screen flashing. I wanted to know. More flashing. I assume that picture turning red is supposed to signify his heartbeat, but it just looks creepy. If you'd go out with me.
It is.
I stand there, motionless, save for my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. Kind of like me right now. What?
By the way, Silver, you can just stop screen sharing now because it's so lagging. I can see what the words are far after you've already read them.
Okay. I already read that. Hiseo. I reach up to try to massage my throat, but this only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms. Hiseo! No! Don't get swallowed up by that redness. My whole body freezes save for my eyes, which shoot open in terror. Ah, the demonic red lingers. Hiseo! The beating in my chest suddenly stops, and I go weak at the knees. Whoa! Okay, I gotta admit that little swirling effect was kinda cool.
By the way, just so you know, I'm playing the game to keep up with you. That way I know everything that's happening.
The world around me, the canopy of bare branches, the dull winter sky, Iwanaka running towards me. All these fade to black. The last thing I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Iwanaka screaming for help and the incessant clatter of the branches above. The end. Oh, wait a minute. We're seeing a pulse. And we've got lag. Or a frozen screen, one of the two. Oh, it froze. Yay! Now, are you going to work properly, or are we just going to sit here all night?
Well, the main music.
Alright, we're back. Four Leaf Studios presents Katawa Shoujo. Drip. 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 More blood dripping, and we see a syringe with a mini bottle of tequila, I'm guessing, and some medical supplies. A little clock going, making time go, and it probably would annoy the hell out of me if I had to listen to it without any music, but it's been 4 months since my heart attack. In that whole time, I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts. So, I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. I'm dead! Arrhythmia. Damn it!
By the way, Silver, if you want me to, since I'm playing the game myself, I can do some voice acting for some of the characters, if you feel fit.
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
A rare condition. Oh wait. A strange word. Foreign. Alien one. One that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It really didn't do anything to cheer me up, though. 'Cause I'm emo. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. Of course there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I realized that the only reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had been turned into a class project. I hated doing those. You have no idea. Maybe some people were genuine. Yeah, I've had people do it for me when I got sick once, and they were lazily done. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis.
By the way, the parents will never talk.
Iwanako was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. We were too busy making out. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. Why do I always gotta be proved wrong? The hospital? It's not really a place I'd like to live in. Doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they are in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them. But it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So, I idly observed the scar that those surgeries had left on my chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of an omen. I still ask the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answers shows that there is at least some hope. At some point, I stopped watching TV. I don't know why, I just did. Maybe it was because the TV was overrun by shitty reality shows. I'm looking at you, Jersey Shore. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital. Although it was more like a storeroom for books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. But I loved the stories. That was what my life was like. The days became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mass I was trapped inside, instead of moving within. I was trapped in the Yellow Devil. Kudos to anyone who actually gets that reference. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness through the barrier of nonchalance I had set up for myself. The pages...
By the way, Silver, if you accidentally skip over a line at some point, you just roll up on the scroll wheel and it'll take you back to previous words that you may have skipped over.
The pages of my book would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely, and I couldn't even cry. Today, the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I've last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a party. I'm pretty sure I've already had my baptism, my communion, my confirmation.
By the way, it's not said until later, I believe, but he's in the hospital over his birthday.
That would make sense. But maybe this is his bar mitzvah, I don't know. There is this ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time sorting his papers and setting them aside as if to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits down on the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks me in the eyes for a moment. Hello, Hiseo. How are you today? I don't answer, but I smile a little back at him, as if waiting to punch him in the face the moment he says something I don't like. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions, you should be fine. We have all your medications sorted out. I'll give your father the prescription. The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many.
Wait, I was wrong. Dad does actually talk.
I take it from his hand and take a look at myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? My music is kind of loud.
I know.
The absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from the paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. You know what? Hang on.
It's a lot better on my end.
Okay, I lowered the volume of the quote-unquote game a little bit. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, contraindictions, and dosages are listed line after line with cold precision.
By the way, there are some spelling mistakes, but they're pretty rare, especially considering this is a visual novel.
I try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it. Attempting to only makes me feel sicker. All this for the rest of my life, every day. This is a fate worse than having to watch the Brady Bunch reunion. I'm afraid that is the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years. Years? What kind of confidence booster is that? I'd have felt better if he hadn't said anything at all. Also, I've spoken to your parents, and we believe it would be best if you don't return to your old school. What? Please calm down, Hiseo. Listen to what the doctor has to say. Calm down? The way he said it tells me he knew full well that I wouldn't like it. Am I going to be homeschooled? 'Cause that sucks. Whatever my concern shows, it's ignored. Probably because I'm just a faceless person in the crowd. Like any other emo. Only I got a visual novel made for me. You can't see it, but I just gave a thumbs up. We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What? Am I not human anymore? It has a 24-hour nursing staff, and it's only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of students live on the campus.
By the way, worst nursing staff ever. You only see one nurse, who is the head nurse, who this is his first year, and before that he worked with people who had to learn how to walk again. And then people basically, they don't care about curfew. A person is on school grounds, curled up into fetal position, and a nurse doesn't even notice them.
Sorry about that, my cat decided to start chewing on a box. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. It's like a boarding school. Only apparently less staffed, although I do have to ask you a question, Red Star. Is there something you won't spoil about this? Yes, you.
I got confused when you said Red Star.
Red King, Red Trickster, whatever. What won't you spoil about this before it happens?
I won't spoil.
You spoiled the crappy nursing staff. You spoiled the fact that the dad talks. You spoiled the fact that I'm playing a cripple.
That could have been pretty obvious.
Independence, it's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to disguise that fact. If it was really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point. Of course, that's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look a couple of weeks back. I think you'd like it. Looks like I really don't have a choice. Curse me not being 18 yet. Compared to other heart problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamned opportunity. Call it a prison sentence. Call it being sent to hell. Call it having to watch an Olsen Twins movie, but don't call it an opportunity. Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school, and while it's not the same one, a special school, that's an insult. That is what I want to say. It's a step down. Kind of like Britney Spears' career after she decided to be stupid. It's not what you think. All of the students there are pretty active in their own sort of way. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help in one way or another. Your father's right. And many of the graduates of the school have gone out to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. That's what a disability is, goddammit. I know this because I'm younger than 18. I really hate that something so important was decided for me, but what can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now.
By the way, Silver, you are 18 in this.
Way to ruin my jokes. Do you want a cookie for that accomplishment?
No, thank you.
Or are you just gonna sit here and laugh at the fact that you've once again spoiled my fun?
Sorry.
It's funny. I had always thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now. Something about how I could go back to school anyway. But no. I don't say anything. The fact is, I know now it's futile. I look around the room feeling very tired all of a sudden. The hospital, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different. But there really isn't a choice. I know this, but the thought of going to a disabled school, what are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try. A clean slate isn't a bad thing. That is all I can think of to get me through this. At least I still have something. Even if it's a special school, it's something. It's a fresh start. My life isn't over. It would be a mistake to just resign myself to thinking that. I have not yet cut myself. At the very least, I try to see what my new life will look like. I'm gonna stop here and end the video because we're probably over a half hour at this point.
And you just got past the prologue.
Is there a lot left to the prologue or no?
I said you just finished the prologue.
Wow. Good place to stop then.
Actually, it is. I'll just go ahead and save for myself.
How do you save?
Right click, it'll bring up a menu and then click the save function.
Ah, I see. Okay.
That's also how you'll do all the options of the game, basically.
Create a new save state. Progress is successfully saved. Okay. Well, with that being done, I am Silver. He is Red Star. He's actually Red Trickster, but still. We'll resume this later. Peace.